I thought that the goal was to create awareness, to normalize seeking help, to make therapy accessible, to remove the shame around mental health struggles. But somewhere along the way, destigmatizing mental health has taken on a life of its own. And now, instead of people getting better, I just feel like people are getting worse. We didn't just normalize therapy. We turned it into a personality trait. We didn't just encourage self-awareness. We turned every feeling into a diagnosis. And instead of using mental health language as a tool, we've started using it as a shield, justifying avoidance, self-sabotage, and emotional fragility in the name of protection. Now everything is a trigger. Everything is trauma. People say, I can't do this. It's bad for my mental health. When what they really mean is, this is hard and I don't want to deal with it. But since when did mental health become about avoiding life instead of learning how to handle it? Good mental health isn't about comfort. It's about capacity. It's about having the emotional, the psychological, and the cognitive range to handle life as it comes. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Your mental health should be challenged, because if your mental health can't withstand stress, discomfort, or uncertainty, then you don't have mental strength. You have emotional dependence based on the right circumstances. And life does not care about your circumstances. And I'm serious, y'all. Like, really, ask yourself, has your mental health journey actually made you stronger, or has it made you retreat further into protecting yourself in the name of good mental health?
First of all, now I'm pissed. I've been saying this shit for 6 years, okay?
Because you're the only one who thought this one thing.
I'm one of the first who saw while Marie would fucking back me down to a corner and say, we need therapy. No, we don't. We do not need
She's
therapy.
Not saying, first of all, she's not saying that therapy is not needed. That's not what she's saying.
No, but we're embraced, and my whole problem is embracing therapy has done more harm than it did good. That's been my whole statement for damn near a decade. Right? And we are now finally seeing therapists want to fucking say the shit that I've been saying, but because I'm not a therapist, I would not know. I saw the trajectory. I study sociology and turns and see people being stupid. You guys don't watch this?
She's not saying embracing therapy is negative. She's saying that people are using it wrong.
No, she's saying that it has become too prevalent to now people think it's a resource, and in fact, it's actually.
She didn't say that.
That's not what she said. What she says.
She did not say that verbatim. No, she didn't.
People are basically
using therapy.
She said people are using all these buzzwords as excuses, and they're tying it to mental health and therapy.
She's also saying that people are utilizing therapy to be a shield, which means to justify their inabilities to go through life. That's what she's saying. But it's only overutilized because it's promoted and it's embraced. That's why I don't promote therapy, because therapy is so much more complex. The need for therapy is for so much more complex situations, not just to fucking sit down and talk to somebody.
Wait, you can't say that though, because
I can, because
to talk to somebody, you have so much anxiety, or it puts you in a place where you don't want to be, and you need to talk to people.
So, well, and I'll dive into that in 1 second. But going back to what I was just saying, the problem that ends up happening is people think that is the solution to all. And because of that, and we are seeing, using the same analogy for Ozempic, and now people don't want to work out, or they want to work out, or even the BBL. People want to work out after the fact, right?
Do the legs.
So
don't forget the legs, ladies.
So what that is still showing is that people still do not have the endurance to do the work on themselves first. So when you want it, going back to what you're saying, when people have anxiety, the anxiety and talking to a therapist isn't curing it. If anything, it's helping you cope with something. And it's not helping you dissect it. You still have to go. Majority of therapy today, and I'm not saying back then, because I believe back then there was, and I think that back then it was more so tied to traumatic issues or traumatic situations, not issues. Today, it's almost like, you know what, I have anxiety when I get into large places. Okay, cool. So all we have to do is redirect you to you. so we can figure out where to start for you. These are all things you can do at home, by the way. These are all things that you can just sit at yourself, learn yourself. But instead, we've embraced it and publicized therapy so that now everything is an outlet. We need an outlet to go in, which is sickening. That means we are literally becoming weaker
But
as
some
people on a day-to-day.
Some people don't know. Some people don't know how
Well,
to do
again,
that
yeah.
kind of work with themselves. They need.
But why not?
What do you mean? Why not?
I'm saying why not?
They
Like
didn't-
why? Like
They didn't know it was an option. They didn't know it was possible.
Yeah, they don't know to
know
like
the
let
steps
me
to go
sit down
through
and
with it.
think about how this all started for me, or maybe it ties back to a past trauma that I've had. Like they don't know to do that. Like, and that's why seeking professional help is a thing.
No, it's not that they don't know. Listen, guys, stop. No, that's not the case. Because guess what? We've all had somebody tell us the fucking answer that we chose not to listen to. Right? That's the problem. The problem is we hear the answer, we don't want to listen to the answer because of who it came from. That's the root cause. Now we want to go to a stranger who's going to tell us to do the same thing that that person told us to do, but we want to listen to the stranger.
A qualified stranger.
They're qualified and they can't tell you what to do.
It doesn't matter if they're qualified or not. The answer was already given to you.
Yeah,
You ruled it out.
No, a good message could be
What are
lost
you
in a bad messenger. If you go to a qualified person
If
who is supposed to know about this stuff, he or she can direct you on what the issue is. But if you listen to your Uncle Luke, then and he tells you some shit, you'll be like, come on, Uncle Luke, what the hell you know?
But that's the point I'm making. We've embraced and empowered physical therapy. Physical therapy, fucking mental therapy or therapy in general to a point where we disqualify the people who know us most or best because you didn't go to school. Nigga, I raised you. I didn't like.
Getting the
what are we talking
first
about?
of all, the answers that you're looking for doesn't always come from people that know you most. Maybe you need someone that doesn't know you at all, doesn't know the situation at all.
If people start, how about this? If you start paying attention to your life, if you're watching this right now, you start paying attention to your life and start drawing dots in your patterns and behaviors in your life. I guarantee you'll see that at some point in time, if you can remember, someone told you what to do at that point in time, but you decided not to listen, which is why it persisted and which is why it got worse. We all get the answers to the test at some point. We just shrug it off. I could pinpoint a lot of different times where I'm like, yo, damn, such and such told me I shouldn't have did that, and I did it. Now I gotta figure out how to undo what I should have been not did. We gotta remember that at some point in time, we were turned to ignore ourselves, ignore our intuition, ignore the things that we know are doing wrong. When we can sit here and be like, yo, I feel it in my soul. I shouldn't be doing this right now, but yet you still do it. Yet you still show up. Yet you still keep that person around you. You've been ignoring yourself this whole time. So using the mechanic analogy, your tires, your brake calipers were rubbing the rotors. You heard it. Not only did you hear it, people on the road was looking at you crazy because they heard it. But it took for you to go to a mechanic to start to do the work. Now, I'm not saying that therapy in full is bad. Because again, I think that for complex situations, I do agree. Sometimes you need help. If you have childhood trauma, that's a different situation. If you have a situation where you were a substance abuse, where you don't know where it's coming from, or where the root is, or let's just say some type of sexual trauma. These type of situations, obviously therapy is going to be super needed or beneficial. Now, let's just say you got fired from your job. Because this is what the world has come to. Hypersensitive, lack of endurance, lack of strength, lack of the ability to go through adversity. You get fired from your job. You have a mental breakdown. Okay. Now you decide that you lash out on everybody for 6 months. You can't find another job. You become this crazy person that's just unapproachable and you can't speak to. So now you need to seek therapy. Right? The craziest thing is all you had to do is understand what comes with life at that point. That did not require a therapist. Right? Why am I so tied to one job knowing that there's 1,000 jobs here? Why did I shut down? why did I not just go ahead and get another job? The honest truth is there's a lot of therapists that aren't good. All right. So we have to understand we're talking about qualified, terrible people. All right. Let me just make sure that we're understanding we're talking about qualified, terrible people.
I was about to
Yeah,
say, it's
but
not just therapists.
but the problem with a therapist is there is more therapists than there are doctors, I feel like. I mean, I'm not too sure if that's a real stat, right? But a therapist is a lot more affordable than a doctor, okay? And so is the process. So you go to these therapists who are really qualified, but they're not good at analyzing and assessing situations. If a good therapist is expensive, then that means a lot of people aren't going to see good therapists because a lot of people can't even afford it. So now when we're talking about is who are they going to then? The bad, cheap therapists, the $40 a session. That's dangerous.
There's insurance.
That's
bro.
now, how about this? I also want to touch on the fact that people are addicted to therapy. So how do you go seek therapy? How do you go seek help and get addicted to the help and never figure it out? So we're not talking about all of the we always want to highlight the great qualified $350 an hour a session therapist, and I commend them, but the problem is it's become a fad. And once it becomes a fad, it's doing more harm than it is good because reality is majority of people can't afford good therapy.
So, do you think that there are any therapists that aren't $350
That aren't
are-
good.
that aren't qualified enough?
I think they're like needles in haystacks. I think that, well,
Just
I
based off
believe
of the price?
yes, because once you start to there's very few people who do things and take on careers in this world or in this life for the passion and will push aside their value and their cost of living to help others. So good therapists in America that know that they are good or great therapists are going to charge what good, great therapists charge.
Okay, but what if this therapist has been doing it for, say, 10 years and decide to lower his or her price and get on an app and treat people at an affordable rate? I
Yeah,
know.
but
I just
we're
wanna
not talking
I just
about
wanna ask.
we're not talking about the
What
fact that it has happened. We're not even talking the fact that it happens. It's rare. Let's ask.
but
How about ask
how
me?
can
What
you
do you
say
think
it's
the
rare,
ratio
though?
is?
How do you
Have you ever seek therapy ever in your life? I want to know if you
I
know
talked
the
to a
process.
therapist for the last 7 years that sits right here alongside me.
No, I'm
every
asking
week.
because I want to know if you know the process, if you know what it's like to
He-
find a therapist.
He doesn't.
So
He
I
equates it
do know.
differently, though.
I do know many people. Have I sought out therapy personally?
Yes,
No, I have never sought out therapy.
What?
But
Scared the shit out of me just now.
have I been around people that have sought out therapy, close friends and family members, and actually did get a therapist? I know somebody right now who's addicted to their therapist, right? And they speak to them and it's like at one point in time, I remember them specifically telling me that they told them that their therapist said you didn't need to come here for that.
Yeah. Well, also, they could have just been talking in therapy, and they could just been comfortable with their therapist. Because sometimes when you're with your therapist, you be talking about stuff, and it just goes, it just flows. And for your example, that you know all these other people, don't you think it would be a different effect if you actually tried yourself? And I'm not saying you need to go. I'm not saying something's wrong with you. I'm saying
You can't talk from other people's experience.
that part.
Well, what I can say is that you don't always need to experience something to understand something. In fact, the most wisest people do not experience everything to understand something. They actually learn from other people's experiences because you don't have the time or the bandwidth to experience everything to learn what you need to learn. That's what I'm saying. So looking if I just look at humanity as a whole, and this is what people should be doing, and then you'll start to understand life a little bit better. If you look at humanity as a whole for a long period of time and take out the foolish variables that they put to kind of stray you away from seeing the truth, then we'll start to understand things a lot clearer. For example, if mental health, let me ask the question here. Do you believe that mental health is more of a real case situation now than ever before? And I'm not saying by numbers. I'm saying, do you believe that it is more so prevalent on the individuals here now than ever before?
Here as in
America. Yeah, because I can't speak for the world.
The answer is no.
So you think that
I think that before we were talking about therapy and mental health and this whole thing, now that we have Instagram, we have social networks to constantly pump it in our brains, I think people were killing people. I think people were harming people. I think people were molesting people. I think people were going to jail. I think people were poor. I think people were doing terrible things to people, and they had no outlet to get that fixed.
Okay.
That is what I think.
that's not my question. Let me ask it again. If I take 100 million people today that are adults and 100 million people 100 years ago, and well, no, that was the Great Depression. 1902, right? 100 million people, both 100 million people in both different time frames.
Mhm.
Do you think that mental health was more over on the 1902 or the 2025?
Well, that kind of did answer your question because mental health was the same. The same issues were there.
Yeah.
But in older times, they didn't have therapists. They didn't
Jesus Christ. Okay. My question is very simple. Jesus. Okay, so wait. So, because we're not getting answers here, guys, and I want to make sure that we understand.
What
Where,
answer didn't you
well,
get?
the answer is who
you need
Do-
us to
what-
pick.
was
You
there?
don't want us
Were
to
they
tell
the
you what to
same?
say.
Said
Were they
no.
the same or were they not? So there no. So which one had more?
I would think back then had more.
Had more mental health issues. More people had mental health issues back then
I believe so.
than today.
I think so.
And you?
I said same.
They're the same.
Yeah.
Like the same amount
Yes.
from back
that is
then and
what they-
today. Okay.
Answering the question.
I'm just making sure. Right? I'm going to say, I believe right now, there are far more mental health issues than ever before.
Which you are allowed to believe, but back in the day, they were making guillotines and cutting people's heads off.
Not in 1902, bro.
Period. How about just period?
I didn't say in 1805.
Okay.
Like I gave you
They
a
didn't even
time
know what
frame.
anxiety was.
I gave you a fucking time frame. Like
How about this?
the laws weren't even the same back then.
All right, 1902, they were doing firing squad. How about that?
I don't know what firing squad
They
is.
were killing people, lining them up, and just shooting them.
You don't think they do that now? What are you talking about?
Do you know where you have to be mentally to be able to do that? They were still.
We are having a crisis where kids are shooting up schools.
They didn't have guns in 1902.
Yes. Okay, I'm leaving. I am fucking leaving. Jesus Christ. We didn't have guns, but people were lining them up and killing them.
I was about to say.
like, what the?
I'm saying kids.
What I'm saying is, if now,
Okay.
if you even think about it, even kids are having mental health issues more so than the kids before. So it's starting off younger.
Say that though.
Well, you're just saying that kids didn't have access to guns. Kids don't have access to guns today, and the laws are more strict than ever. Kids are finding a way to get access to guns.
So kids have access to guns.
And they're
What? You just said kids don't have access to guns today, but they're
No.
finding ways to get access to guns.
exactly the same things were this. Excuse me. The same variables were the same as it now as it was 1902 for the children, and we're seeing children find ways to have access to guns. Those kids had more respect. Those kids feared consequence. Nowadays, our kids don't fucking fear consequence. We have people who do not fear, respect, or care about authority from all age groups.
Yeah,
all
but-
age groups. And you mean to tell me that mental health is now not as bad as before? We are at a fucking crazy time right now.
But what you're describing right now is just a difference of time, not a difference of mental health.
And you're speaking it as if it's fact and you have data behind this.
I mean,
Because the kids back then were more respectful and afraid of consequence, that doesn't mean that they weren't struggling
It
with
doesn't
mental
mean that
health.
somebody couldn't come in their house and just bash them over the head with a hammer.
okay, but it's happening today still. And that's what I'm trying to say. So everything that you're saying that happened then is happening right now, and it's probably happening more so now than it did 120 years ago.
According to your narrative. So you can create a narrative to make
Okay,
yourself
so if we pull up the data right now, and then what's your next thing to say? That the data proves that there are more crimes, there are more violent crimes today than there was 120 years ago. What would be your next What would be your next take on that?
My next take would be, let's bring up the data, and then you will get my next take.
Okay, let's bring it up. Because the thing is, just pull
Like,
up.
Marie's
Just
like,
pull up
what are we
Just pull up
searching?
violent. Just pull up. It's very simple.
Data.
Violent crimes in
Where's the stats? I'll
2020.
be Aaron.
Violent crimes in
Pull up the
1902.
stats.
Variable is this: that people have the capacity to be worse, and they have the reasoning to justify the fact that they can be worse. And that's why I'm saying we are now.
You could hide bodies in the woods.
You wanna
And there would be no cameras.
segue?
There was no phones. There
Are
was
you gonna put
nobody
it up?
taking TikToks.
So you're saying they were getting away with it?
Yes.
All right.
That's why I say bring the data. You won't
Maybe-
get the data because
well, that wouldn't be
shouldn't be
that wouldn't be on the data then, actually.
What?
But the data was still proving my favor. Right now is definitely 100% worse than it was 120 years ago. Post the Great Depression, because I don't even want to consider that. It was in the 20s, I believe, in 30s.
All right. Early 1900s to mid 20th century. So this says 1900s to 1960s. Violent crime was relatively low, but began increasing in the 1960s due to social unrest, urbanization, and charges in policing. 70s to the 90s, violent crime peaked in the late 80s and early 90s, largely due to the crack cocaine epidemic, gang violence, and economic struggles. The 90s to 2014, crime rate significantly declined due to tougher policing strategies, economic improvements, and mass incarceration. Is this in your favor right now?
Yes,
It sounds. Before I read the rest, it sounds like people have been crazy since people have been crazy. Since
No, it doesn't. Keep going, because you clearly don't understand.
2015 to 2020, some increases in violent crime were observed, particularly homicides, due to factors like social unrest and economic disparities. 2020 to 2025, there was a notable spike in violent crime during the COVID-19 pandemic, but in many places, it has since started declining again.
I would definitely take the COVID part. Obviously, we can understand the stress of the world at that point in time. But if you look at it, right, so before 1950, people were relatively fine. And
Can you leave that up?
yes, please. Right? Before 1950, and I can't even read it, but before 1950, based on what I heard, people were relatively fine, right? When we get to the point of the 50s to the 60s, or is it 60s to the 80s? 60 to 90s, 60 to 80s? Now look, check this out. Those people who were in the 70s and the 80s are adults here today. Right? So the people who were here with this, what is it, a spike in a crazy, what was it? So it's the 70s to the 90s. These are all adults right now, between their 30 to 45, nearly 58 years old, right? Some of these people are still fucked up. Those are the people that you're probably seeing in therapy, right? I'm 32. I was born in 93. So, like, you'd be 35 years old, 38 years old. These are products of that, right? These people that are seeking the therapy that we're talking about are not the same people. And then even in 2014, they said they had to clamp down with what? Policing and mass incarceration. That's the only reason why they saw a decline in crimes. So when we're talking about mental health right now, we are at a way, way more sensitive time than ever before. That was the point that I'm trying to prove, by the way. No, I think
I thought the original point was you had asked
What time frame?
the time frame had them. If people back in the day were worse than they are than today.
Yes.
I thought that was the question.
Yeah, from 1902 to 1920. I mean to 2025. And this answers my question.
But they had a
They gradually
crack
got worse.
cocaine
60.
epidemic, Great Depression back then. I'm
They had a Great Depression in the
I wanna do
20s.
this.
I mean,
Listen. But wait. Technology also increased throughout this time. So as technology increased,
So did the crazy.
no, we're just being able to see it.
No, we're not. She just said a direct correlation is we got to a point where we diagnose
health.
every single thing. Everything has a diagnosis.
I definitely don't think that was her point. Of course, we know that there are unqualified therapists who misdiagnose and probably give those keywords to people who really don't need it. The point of her video was to say when you get those keywords and you get the therapy in the right way, you don't use it properly. You don't use it to go through life and thrive. You don't try to work through your problems and get through your issues. You're using it to be avoidant. You're using it to be stagnant. Like, that's the point. We're not
Excuses.
saying that therapy is bad. It's being misused.
He's saying it's bad.
I'm saying that again.
Well, that's not the message.
Yes.
I'm saying again that this is the outcome. I'm not saying the act of therapy is bad. I'm saying the accessibility and the promotion of therapy has caused this, which is what she is saying. That's what I've been saying this entire time.
Yeah, we know. I mean, it's in there. We got it.
Because that's most likely the situation. Because the thing is, people, it's still unproven. I'm going to send you a video, and it's just great because I love the fact that I'm right. The problem is I'm always ahead. I send you a video, Marie, and it's great, reputable schools that we love dearly and hold to a high value, studying the fact that this therapy in human psychology has taken a significant decline, and they are in conjunction with each other. And the reason is because, one, we are labeling things because we can't understand things, which is a problem. You can't just come up with a diagnosis because you don't understand why somebody thinks this way. Now, if there are literal, real, like insanity, real, then you need, yes. Well, you need a therapist that can work it out before you get to a psychiatrist, right? But we are taking small things that are everyday life and we are attaching titles to them that have extreme definitions. And then these people are self-diagnosing themselves. They're diagnosing themselves and going to seek therapy, right? And then what's happening is you have a mix between people who don't even need to be there, but feel the need to be there. Then you have people who, I would honestly say, doing this for the money and will keep you there to keep their lights on. And then you have people that are unqualified. And then the ones that we can probably agree on that are good are going to cost. And people are not actually getting real help.
You can leave therapy anytime you want. A therapist doesn't have to keep you there for the money.
But like, for example, if you don't know where to turn and you turn to me,
I'm taking your money.
like, come on now, and
also, those small everyday things.
I'm gonna tell you what you need to know.
They give you a big word for it with a very big meaning. That is what you do. Because being a narcissist, yeah, it is those small everyday things. You don't have to do anything super huge to be a narcissist.
Yes, you do.
No,
Jesus, Marie, please. And this is the problem: unqualified people giving significance to definitions.
I personally don't go around calling people narcissists, but I do know that being a narcissist really does start with small behaviors.
Do you know how extreme it has to be?
Let her tell it. What's your definition of narcissist, or from what you know of?
I mean, don't ask me that because I don't have
we know
my
that.
own definition, but I understand what it means to be a. Don't do that because we were on the same side.
We're still on the same side.
We say it because a dumbass therapist has gained a mic and went on social media and said, if you're seeing small signs of this, that makes him a narcissist, not understanding how extreme it has to be.
I don't think a therapist did that. I think somebody, a patient that came from a therapist,
said that he's a narcissist, or she
just created that definition.
We have fake doctors all over the internet.
That this person exudes narcissistic.
We have fake doctors everywhere.
Behaviors, like they'll say that they don't have to have the full disorder, but if you're showing,
you don't have to have the full disorder, but
if you show signs of being a narcissist, like they'll say, no, they do say this person has narcissistic behaviors.
I'm trying to be on your side. It's really not. If you don't let it be, it's not. Because if no offense, but if a girl calls me a narcissist and I say, what's your definition of a narcissist? Like, I can't tell you that right now.
Okay. Offense.
I don't think therapists should be paid.
What?
I don't think therapists should be paid. Because if the therapist isn't paid, then for you to be there, you have to really want to help somebody.
Oh my God. You want to help yourself.
What?
Oh my god.
Volunteering? What? Rico, please. Everybody
Because
needs
all
a
the-
little change.
Because all these people come out here and they say stupid shit and then they create worse people. We had somebody in here, bro. I wish you were here for this. We had somebody in here who said he lost his marriage. His wife started therapy and then said, and he said before that, we always came together for every decision. Everything was agreed upon before done. We never did anything separate. He said she went to therapy. Her therapist basically told her she needed to start choosing herself more, and she started doing things without me. And before you know it, because the therapist told her she needs to focus on her, that was the demise of our marriage. Okay? Yeah, me too. No, it wasn't unqualified.
Wait.
This was
How
qualified.
do you know it wasn't qualified?
She went to an actual therapist.
Unqualified.
Wait.
No. Unqualified means that they're not licensed.
No, that means unlicensed. Means they're not licensed.
Everybody can get a license.
An unqualified, do we know what the definition of unqualified means?
So
You mean a not good therapist. You mean, yes,
Okay.
yeah. She was qualified, or he, whatever it was.
She went to community college.
Maybe, but whatever she was, destroyed a fucking marriage, right? So the thing is, we have to live in things in real time, unfortunately, for people to understand trends and even diet trends. People went from saying, fuck, I'm never eating meat, I'm gonna be vegetarian, now I'm about to be vegan. Now you're seeing all these different studies coming out on why you should. Yeah, now you're about to be, now it's carnivore diets. People gotta, now we have narcissists, then it went to misogynists, then it went to narcissists, actually. And it's going to be a trend. So that's why I'm like, therapy is good for those who really genuinely need it. But again, we can't just have therapy for people who are being soft, people who don't want to navigate through life, people who don't want to deal with adversity, people who have chosen to just say, you know what, I don't want to do the work myself, right? I don't feel like therapy should be offered for them. They need a different type of something that's not actual therapy, because now that we are confusing the two. So that's my take.
What is the two?
Like people who need it and people who don't.
But who's this? You can't say
We.
who needs it.
Yes, we can.
You can't say who needs it.
Yes, I can.
Your
Go
scale.
to therapy, y'all. Just don't
Yes.
misuse it.
Go to therapy.
Because we're not
Don't
ending on
go
that.
to therapy if you don't
Yes,
really need it.
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
Until you sign that waiver.
Was she an investor or just a lender? Find out on the next episode of Ask Amanda. No, we're finding out today. Okay. In 2015, I invested $70,000 into my ex's real estate deal. At least I thought I was investing. We've since broken up and he returned my original $70,000, but now I just found out he sold the property for 10 times what he paid. I feel like I was more than just a lender. I believed I was an investor and should be entitled to a share of the profits. He says I got my money back and that was the agreement. Am I wrong for expecting more or did he take advantage of me? What should I do?
She said, I'm sorry, that's her ex?
Yes.
So, okay, so her ex gave her money back and gave her some D. She
What?
can go on her way.
The D was not a part of the deal.
D was part of the deal. You got D and you got your money back.
They had an official
return is
agreement.
crazy.
They had an official agreement for the real estate deal.
How'd
It
that
was
does
it?
not have anything to
What
do
was
with
it?
it.
What was the official agreement?
Well, that she was going to invest.
And then what? Get her
Get
money
her money back. She got her fucking money back, right?
And some D.
Listen, she's probably, I've seen her before on a couple comment sections talking about how, well, you just wanted to, if you loved her, you shouldn't be wanting more. You know, that soul situation that they be saying. She should just go back and look at that.
I definitely, seeing this is black and white situation, to be honest. If that was the agreement was met, she got her money back. But this is giving like a little acrimony situation. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Acrimony. Go with it.
Tyler Perry.
No, I don't know, but
Tyler Perry, acrimony, Taraji. Right. She was like funding his whole life. and then he made it big.
Bye.
But in the process, he lost her house. But when he made it big, he bought the house back, gave her the keys, and then gave her money. But he made so much more than that, and she was just like, "Well, nigga, like I was
India-
with you doing this, that, and the third, and
Why-
you promised me this, that, and the third." Like she felt entitled to it, and I know that this is a big argument with this movie on the internet that people have. Who was right? Was he right? Was Taraji right?
He was right. You know why? Because he played the game that bitches play.
Oh,
How about that?
What do bitches play?
They come into a man's life who got it. The man is supposed to build her up, pay for her school, let her become a doctor, get her new doctor circle friends, and then tell the man that he no longer qualifies, and that he
You
needs.
still salty about that? Huh?
No, it's not salty. I'm just saying we're having real life examples, right? So the man is always the one, or I won't say always. The man has usually been the one to build the girl up. After he built her up, she goes on to live this luxurious lifestyle. If he built her up, and he's not entitled to any of the return on his investment. He was supposed to do that out of love. That's what a man's supposed to do. So when a woman now, just like the movie and just like this Ask Amanda, builds or she finances or she financially helps a man build himself up and he gives her return on investment, we're talking about how should you feel?
and they broke up, right?
Yeah, that's her ex.
So is she saying she would have felt different if they stayed together?
No, she would have asked for she would have asked for more. That's why he broke
No,
up with
I
her.
mean,
He knew what he was
I don't
doing.
think that the relationship have anything to do with it. This is like a business deal for her.
No, but-
So she's saying she felt more like an investor and not just a lender. So she felt like the situation shouldn't have been like I got back my initial money that I gave you. I should have got that plus
I get you.
whatever.
I get how she feels.
She did not
Yeah.
get she didn't put that in her terms. What?
What was a part of the contract?
Well, she doesn't really say specifically like verbatim what they agreed on,
Mm.
but she just said that he got me my money back and that was their agreement.
I wish I heard that's not the right thing. That's not the right thing.
Or maybe it
Not the
was
right thing.
maybe it's the fact that she's an ex, so he feels like he doesn't like owe her anything because he doesn't want the lines to get blurred.
Listen,
or
I'm gonna be
anything
honest
like
with
that.
you, and I'm just looking at the context of the situation because she's leaving out a lot of fucking details. For you to give anybody $70,000, that means that person usually was doing something to make you believe into them, right? So he was already showing you in different areas, in different ways that he was already doing things that were either profitable or close to being profitable or was about to hit that big break. Whatever it was, you don't just dump 70,000 into an idea that somebody has not even proven is capable of. So now he was able to do that. He was probably already doing it, and I'm adding that, right? He was probably already doing things that led her to be confident to make this investment. And now that they've broken up, she wants more only because she already knew what he was capable of. That's all.
This is an ex situation.
And she didn't say why they broke up, which is why I don't
No, it
trust
doesn't
her.
matter.
She
because
cheated
I
because
was
she's a
just-
hoe.
Shut up.
That's why she only got 70.
I feel like this is an ex situation specifically, but I feel like anybody would have felt away. It could have been his man's. Yeah, his man's would have felt away too. Like, yo, here's your 70 grand back. And he sees how much money you profited off of what you lent him. Like, he's going to be like, yo, I think that anybody would be asking this question, not just because she's an ex.
No. If you are my mans and I give you 70 bands and you tell me you're going to give me 70 back and whatever you make it, and whatever you make, well, I'm not saying whatever, because if you make 7 million, that's different. But if you make 500,000, I'm like, all right, cool. And he gives me back my 70, so he really made 400, 430. I'm okay with that. I'm not asking him for more. I would like to get at least a dinner, right? But
You want a date?
nah, like a dinner, a celebratory dinner. You know what I'm saying? We go to the strippy afterwards. That, like, I want to celebrate with you. I would like that, but I'm not requiring that. I'm not going to feel some type of way because I know once we had that agreed contract, I wasn't expecting anything more than that. Now for her, she feels entitled because she feels like they're not together, so she wants more because she's feeling like he's leaving with more than what he came with.
That can't happen.
And that's why she's
I
like
don't think
tripping
that
in her.
she's feeling any differently than your man's would have felt. You know what I'm
What are you
saying?
talking about?
Like
I
you're
just said we are cool. I said we good. Would she want a date? Like, like
She want that
she want a strip
old thing
club?
back.
Like,
no, but like
he
I
don't
don't
want to
think
see
that
her.
she feels entitled, but she definitely still feels like, okay, yeah, like maybe he could have, took me out, a little thank you or some. I know that they're exes, but just how you explained like a friend situation, I feel like she feels that same way. I don't think
The
that she's
difference is-
more entitled because she's his ex.
The difference is me and him are still friends. There's been a separation here. And she's not telling us why they separated. All right. If I love you and you love me and you invest in me, I'm not just leaving you that easily. You got to do some shit.
Yeah, but that was also a personal lend though. Like he could have
No, it
got that
wasn't.
seven.
A personal lend wouldn't have had a contract. It wasn't
No.
personal.
And I mean that he could have gotten someone else somewhere more official to get $70,000 from.
But he was
You
also
asked your girlfriend.
he was in a relationship with her, and maybe they expected to be together.
Exactly. And that's
So what did
blurring
she
lines
do?
in itself. I'm
She-
actually not asking no partner of mine to lend me money to start something because
Why not?
what if we mash up? Then what?
Well, then you should be smart enough to have the contract before you.
I'm
mash
smart
up.
enough to go outside my relationship and get that money
From who?
from somewhere more official, a official lender.
So you
Like
would
a
go
bank?
outside your relationship to get money that your man already had.
To pay an interest that you don't got to pay.
So that there's no problems. I wouldn't have to be asking no questions like this if I went outside my relationship.
Okay,
Like
it's just a question. I'm
You
sorry.
rather lose money.
how?
Or you're saying you would go ask. Then so again, you would rather lose money. No, you would rather lose money. No, you would rather lose money. You would rather pay more. You didn't 10x, brother. It's 9 now. That interest. It's 9 now. You rather lose money because you don't want to blur a line that is not blurred. The only one that blurred it was him because when you guys said, "Hey, look, here's a contract." It said that, right? It was a contract.
Well, she said agreement, so I don't know if there was an official contract.
Well, there was an
Signed.
agreement, which at one point was as good as a contract, right? Handshake. We have an agreement. You're gonna give me 70. All right, cool. I'm gonna give you 70 back within this time frame, and I hit you off that 70 back. It does not matter what I made.
You should have put that
I
originally.
fulfilled it.
If you make more than a certain amount, then I would like 75 back or whatever your vig is.
She did
Yeah, they're not
something. She
even-
didn't even say why they broke up.
And that's the problem. Why?
Because
why
look,
are you in love and not having these conversations?
If he
about
did so-
investing
look,
with your
look,
partner.
I
but
got
then
it.
you writing to ask Amanda after this.
bro, look, Rome, am I bugging? Am I bugging to believe this? And you can feel free to say yes or no, whatever it is.
Yes.
If if a woman lent a man money, right, into whatever his business endeavor was,
Okay.
and they broke up,
Mm.
and he made 10 times that amount,
Mm.
plus the reason why they broke up was because he did something foul to her, whether he mistreated her, was disrespecting her, he cheated on her, or even put his hands on her. One of those 4 reasons that are typically the reasons for them to break up.
Mm.
And she wrote in, would she not have included, and he's my ex after he X, Y, and Z, or after he did X, Y, and Z? Do you think that she would typically include the reason why they broke up if it was his fault?
I mean,
I think that
Think
the
about a
reasoning-
woman. Think
Okay,
about a
but
woman,
you're
bro.
but you're also assuming that she did something.
I wasn't asking you.
I don't give a fuck.
I wasn't asking you.
You're also
I was
assuming
asking-
in this
Wait,
situation that she did something.
I just want Rome to answer.
Rome, don't answer him.
From a man who understands women are hoes. Would she? We say this, bro. This is our thing. Do you think that she would have included the reason or why they broke up after she felt like she was used for her 70K?
I think she would be more likely to include that.
You're
They're
so
not.
fucking politically correct. It
See
makes me
me?
sick, but I understand. That means Amanda, she cheated because she was a hoe.
All right, next. I agree. She was a hoe. They all are.
We need you to agree. We need 2 women to say that she was a hoe. Because
You know what? I meant to make that point. And that's why the lines are blurred, because when you're in a relationship, you think that she's going through all the technicalities, like, babe, if you make this amount of money, I would like blah blah. She's just like, babe, all right, do what you gotta. I got you.
That's your
all,
fault.
That's all she gonna say.
Why is it his fault?
you guys are all right.
That's why never have niggas.
Every day.
Never have niggas.
Yo, if my girl said, yo, Rico, here's 100,000. I'm putting you on a contract right now.
I love you.
And yeah, and I need X by this. And it might just be the 100,000.
100?
And she says, sign. I'm like, okay. With my blood or my pen? I'm not gonna have any like, oh, you're a difficult woman. No, you believe in me, babe?
Who do you think you are?
You must be dumber than I thought. No, I'm kidding.
Don't do shit for men. Don't do shit for men. Don't do shit. Don't do
I'm
nothing.
just joshing.
Don't do nothing.
I don't
for
care. I don't care.
Men.
That's a
Word.
double
Let's
negative.
get this Canada video going.
That means do it.
Is that Roy? Roy?
Well, I can't see.
Yeah, he's Roy.
Chris
Roy.
is saying, wait.
If we're still together, she might get a vacation.
Might. That's real.
He hates you.
But I'm not leaving. Yo, if you gave me 70, I know there's more where that came from.
Right.
Like, I'm not just walking out. Like, y'all gotta understand what's happening. Like,
I might give her 80. I might give her 80.
I ask for the 70 again.
Feel it.
Like, oops.
This one didn't work out.
What? In marriage, that's different. I'll take that serious.
What's different about
In a
that?
marriage, I'm not asking you. I'm not signing a contract.
Going in our
What are we talking?
I wasn't even going
What are we
there.
talking about? Like,
I wasn't even going there.
What am I gonna ask you for this money?
You guys are disgusting.
Like, what? Thanks. You understand? You got a street nigga who don't trust banks, and you took his money, and you didn't think death was a possibility. You see why I'm saying shit be stupid? Like,
Pause.
like,
Pause. Put the pause on her.
yeah, like, I wasn't. There was nothing to talk about.
That man. And probably kept all that money too. Good job, sis.
All right.
And look, but yo, imagine y'all gotta
That
understand this. The account
was a good job.
you took. Yo, you took the money out and moved it to an account with your name. You can't use my name. You can't just go put it in with my name. But and they might. Yeah, why? Like, my thing is
He's
this.
stupid now. He's dumb.
I mean,
You don't know numbers all of a sudden.
Like, he done made his money. Like,
all right.
Okay, talk that shit.
So Chris said you running up too.
no, he didn't. She wowed out. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch a OYN.
And ON.
Yeah, don't touch a
all I
Owens.
need is for a nigga
Touch
to
a
touch
Owens
me.
money,
Jackpot.
nigga.
All I need is for a nigga to touch me.
He only regrets it because he doesn't know what it would have been.
Jackpot.
If she was already doing shit without your
Everything
permission,
you
you were in
got.
for a rude awakening. All right.
I got what he got.
What if he ain't got nothing? Then what?